Hey everyone, let's talk about something we all struggle with: finishing what you start. You know the feeling, right? You get this brilliant idea, you're super motivated for about a week, and then, poof, it just fizzles out. Well, today we're going to dig into the key ideas from Peter Hollins' work on how to finally actually follow through. So, the author, Peter Hollins, kicks things off with a story that is just so relatable. He decided he was going to carve a wooden canoe, and the first week, he was all in, making great progress. But then the second week rolls around, his hands are sore, a new Star Wars movie comes out, and the project stalls. For years, this half-finished canoe just sits in his garage, basically staring him down, a silent reminder every single time he walked to his car. And that canoe, it's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it? I mean, think about it. What's your canoe? Is it that online course you were going to build? The novel you started? That workout plan that lasted, a week? We all have this sort of mental garage that's just cluttered with these awesome but abandoned projects. So the real question is, how do we finally clear it out? Okay, so first things first, we've got to get clear on what following through actually means. Because it's not just about having more willpower, not at all. It's a real concrete skill, the skill of turning your intentions into actual reality. It's about finally breaking that super frustrating cycle of starting something, getting all hyped up, and then just letting it die. And Hollins has this fantastic metaphor to explain it. He says to think of it like Voltron. Yeah, the giant robot from the old cartoon. His point is that following through isn't just one single thing, it's a super robot, a powerful skill that only comes to life when four essential parts come together and fuse into one. So what are the four parts of this follow-through Voltron? Well, first you've got focus. That's the head, right? It tells you where to go. Then there's self-discipline, which is the spine. It's what keeps you going even when you really don't feel like it. Third is action, the hands and feet. This is what turns your ideas into actual physical motion. And last but not least, you've got persistence. That's the heart. It's the grit that keeps you pushing when things get tough. The key thing is, if you're missing even one of these, the whole robot just falls apart. All right, so that all sounds pretty straightforward, right? So why is it so ridiculously hard in practice? Well, it's because we've all got these, let's call them inner saboteurs, that are experts at derailing our best laid plans. And according to the book, they usually fall into two main categories. On one side, you have what are called inhibiting tactics. These are the things we do to mess up our own progress. Think setting really bad goals or just straight up procrastinating. But then there's the other side, the psychological roadblocks. These are deeper. These are the internal fears, the insecurities that just stop us in our tracks. And usually it's our brain's weird way of trying to protect us from feeling uncomfortable or, failing. A perfect example of an inhibiting tactic is something called analysis paralysis. The book tells this great story about a woman named Esther. She had a dream of opening a home bakery. Sounds great, right? But she decided she needed to research everything first. And when she started thinking about taxes and leases and marketing plans, it was all so overwhelming that she just froze. She got so stuck in the planning phase that she never actually sold a single cookie. And the thing is, we do this stuff all the time, don't we? We set these super vague goals like, I want to be healthier. What does that even mean? Or we get caught in productive procrastination, where you feel busy because you're planning and organizing, but you're not actually doing anything. And of course, there are the distractions, the endless scrolling, the notifications. But so often, underneath all of that is a deep, deep fear of failure. It's this sneaky thought that, hey, if I never really try, then nobody can judge me. Okay, so that's the bad news. We're all our own worst enemies. But let's pivot to the solutions, because there are some really good ones. The secret isn't just to try harder or be more disciplined. No, it's about understanding how your own motivation works and then, hacking it. And a great way to think about this is the classic idea of the carrot and the stick. So the stick is all about motivation from the outside, basically trying to avoid something bad. Like the fear of letting down your accountability partner or the pain of wasting money on that gym membership you never go to. The carrot, though, that's internal. That's the pull towards something good. It's the feeling of pride you'll get when you finish, or the thought of how much better your life will be. It's motivation from desire, not from fear. And this brings me to one of my favorite strategies from the book. It's called temptation bundling. The idea is so simple, but it is absolutely brilliant. You take something you need to do, the thing you're procrastinating on, and you pair it with something you genuinely want to do. What this does is it tricks your brain by giving it an immediate reward for doing the hard work. So, let's go back to that half-finished canoe. How did he finally get it done? Temptation bundling. He realized that he loved listening to his favorite albums, like from the very first track to the last, but he never had time. So he made a new rule for himself. The only time he was allowed to listen to those albums was while he was working on the canoe. All of a sudden, this chore he was avoiding got linked to something he loved, and that changed everything. Now, hacking your motivation is a great start, but let's be honest, motivation comes and goes, it's fickle. So the real key to long-term success, the thing that really separates people who finish from people who don't, is to stop relying on willpower. Willpower is like a battery, it runs out. Instead, you need to build unbreakable systems. So what exactly is a system? A system isn't a goal, like lose 20 pounds. It's the process you follow consistently, like go for a walk after dinner every single day. It makes your progress automatic. A good system is what takes over and carries you forward on those days where you have zero motivation and your willpower just isn't showing up to work. And one of the best systems out there for beating that analysis paralysis we talked about, it's captured by these two numbers right here. It's a really powerful rule for making decisions and taking action. It actually comes from former Secretary of State Colin Powell, and it's all about figuring out the exact right moment to stop thinking and start doing. Okay, so here's the rule. It's called the 40-70 rule. Once you have gathered between 40 and 70% of the available information for a decision, it's time to act. If you have less than 40%, you're just being reckless. But if you wait until you have more than 70%, you're not being diligent, you're just procrastinating. That window, that 40 to 70% sweet spot, is your green light to go. Here's another game-changing system. It's called batching. The idea is to stop multitasking and start grouping similar tasks together. Think of it like an assembly line. You answer all your emails in one dedicated block of time. You make all your phone calls in another. Why does this work so well? Because it gets rid of something called attention residue. You know that feeling when you switch from writing a report to answering an email and part of your brain is still thinking about the report? That's attention residue, and it kills your focus. Batching fixes that. So when you boil it all down, the crucial point is this. You have to make a mental shift. Stop just chasing finite goals and focusing only on the finish line. Instead, put your energy into building and trusting sustainable systems. Because it's the systems that deliver results, day in and day out, especially when your motivation takes a nosedive. And that's really the heart of it. We've talked about what it takes to follow through, why it's so easy to quit, and most importantly, how to build systems that make success almost inevitable. So I'll leave you with this final thought. What's the one unfinished project you're going to see through to the end? What's that canoe sitting in your garage, and what system are you going to build starting today to finally finish it?